Let me ask you something. What is the fastest way a trumpet player can ruin a worship service? By playing too much. Yes, I said it. The trumpet is very powerful and can cut through anything, but if you do not know how to control it, you might end up pulling people out of the service instead of ushering them deeper into it. I'm going to show you how a trumpet player should behave during a worship setting, not just musically, but mentally, your stage presence and your role in the team. Make sure you stick around to the end because I'll be giving you trumpet techniques that you should use during your worship setting, each suited for different moments during the worship setting. Heart and mindset. Serve, don't shine. Always remember that the worship is not about you. You are not the center of it. It's about God. Your goal is to help the congregation connect with God, not to take the center stage. The congregation should leave the worship center saying something like, wow, I felt God's presence. Not, wow, that trumpet solo was good. That shouldn't be your focus. You should know your place. Pray before play. You should mentally and spiritually prepare so that you'll be able to flow with the worship. Stay sensitive to the worship leader. Your job during the worship is to follow the worship leader and follow what the worship leader wants. It's not about what you want. It's about what the worship leader wants. So even if the worship leader wants you to be silent, make sure you are silent. Now let's look at the musical approach. Play with intention, not constant sound. Make sure you are not playing for playing sake. Always make sure your entry sounds like the singer singing. You should be intentional about what you play, and make sure silence is also part of your play. It's not always that you have to play. Sometimes silence speaks very loud. Blend with the band. Make sure you match dynamics and timing with other instruments. When the whole band is playing soft, make sure you also play soft. When they are up there, make sure you also go up there because the trumpet is very loud. So if they are playing soft, you start playing so loud, you overshadow the whole worship. So sometimes practice using what? Mutes. If you don't have mutes, get a mute, whether a cap mute or a hammer mute like this one, so that during some quiet sections, you can use it so that it will blend very nicely. Dynamic control is key. You see, in worship, there's highs and there's lows. There are times the worship builds momentum. Take those things into consideration and adjust your volume accordingly. In case the music is in the soft section, use long, airy notes, a bit sustained, soft swells. And during big moments, you can use bold, fanfare-like lines, but still make sure you don't overshadow the mix, okay? Play in the right register. You see, higher notes cut in more. So make sure you use them sparingly. Make sure you use them when there is bigger moments. When the instruments are all rising up, that's when you can use the higher notes to build that kind of momentum. Don't just use higher notes just for the sake of higher notes, especially when the worship is very soft. Sometimes with no drums, you go accordingly. And also, less is more. As I said earlier, you don't have to play always. What I've seen is that when trumpeters are playing during worship, they tend to play a lot because it is kind of an improvisational kind of thing. So they tend to play all the time. But you don't have to play all the time. Sometimes give space to the music. Just leave it for the worship leader. You play small, then you leave spaces. Silence is very key. Always remember, a few well-placed notes is powerful more than constant playing. Let's look at physical and stage conduct. Always be attentive. Keep your eyes on the worship leader for cues, especially if you are in a setting whereby you are in a worship band and you've rehearsed and all those kind of things. Sometimes you have to look at the worship leader so that if he or she wants you to, go down or maybe cut, you will see it and do it so that it will be what? Uniformed. Dress modestly and appropriately. If you are in a band setting and you have a specific uniform that you are supposed to wear it so that everything will be uniformed. If you are in the band that you don't have any uniform, wear something appropriate, something that isn't distractive, something that cannot take the attention from the worship into yourself. Also, handle mutes and your trumpet stands quietly. Make sure you don't make any noise with your trumpet mute and all those kind of things because we don't want to create any interruption during the worship. Now let's look at listening and flow. Listen to the lyrics. Sometimes when you know the lyrics of the song, it can also move you into playing something which matches with the lyrics. So don't just play for playing sake. Listen to the lyrics and match it with your phrasing and the way you play your trumpet. Follow the spirit and the leader. You see, sometimes it is very good for you to just stop playing and let the vocals shine. Just be in the spirit and let the vocals shine. Let the lyrics cut through. Let it get into the people. Am I preaching here? Respond to the atmosphere. If the room is in a deep, quiet moment, that's not where you are going to play like high notes and, fanfares and all those kind of things. You should what? Move with the atmosphere. If the atmosphere is in a quiet space, make sure you play something swirly so that it matches the atmosphere. And our fifth point is collaboration and humility. Rehearse with the team. I know sometimes it can be an impromptu thing. Sometimes you just be called to come and play, and then you just go and you play. There are times you don't have any control over that. But in cases when you are in a band, make sure you rehearse with the team. If the music demands you playing something in unison with the other instruments, you should what? Remember them and play them accordingly. Make sure you know the songs well. Make sure you know the key. You can't play without knowing the key. Don't spoil someone's worship by playing an off key. And if the music has some arrangements that you've done, make sure you know the arrangements very well and how everything moves. Take feedback well. Sometimes ego can set in, especially when you've played for a long time. You think you're untouchable. It cuts through everything. But make sure you take feedback and improve on it. If it is a positive feedback, you go through with it. If it is a negative feedback, you make sure you take it with good heart and you improve. And I know sometimes some criticism will come and it has no bounds and all those kind of things. Don't get angry. And also, when your worship leader tells you, in this part of the music, I don't want you to play the trumpet, take it with good heart. Your music director is shaping the music, so you have to listen to him. Now, let's get to the techniques that I was talking about. The techniques that you can use during various sections of the music. So, number one is soft parts and sustains. And I know when you hear sustain, you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes just play long sustain notes, gentle notes, using vibrato and all those kind of things. Let's see an example. You find your key, see? So something like that. And when should you play like this? When we are in a prayerful moment or intimate moment with God, like what you just heard. So when the music is soft, sometimes no drums and all those kind of things, play those sustained long notes with some vibrato here and there, make it airy, like that. Number two is using swells. Whether crescendo is moving up there, the crescendo is descending. So this is how it can be. Like something like that, soft to higher can also descend from the loud to the soft. You can use it when you are building to a chorus or something like that. You are moving from a softer section of the music to a much louder section. You can use something like that to swell it in. The third is echo, encore, and response lines, which is something that I love doing a lot. You play the trumpet like you are having a conversation. You listen to the worship leader, then you play along with the worship leader. You get it, right? And you can also play harmonies with the vocals or the instruments. Sometimes on big choruses or instrumental sections, you can play what harmonies. If you are not alone and you are horsemen there, you can play some harmonies there. I know most of you know what I'm talking about. If you're alone, you can play harmonies with the other instruments or with the vocalist. So if the main melody is playing, play a third, maybe a sixth or an octave of the main melody. So what we call tenor, auto, that's also one technique that you can be using. And we have bold fanfare moments. When should you use bold fanfare moment? When the music is building up into a chorus or a climax. That's where you can play your high notes. Save this for special piece in the music for maximum impact. And the last thing will be texture playing. So when the band is playing soft atmospheric sections, then you play your trumpet to create what? Some kind of texture. This is where you can use half valves. You can use half valve effect, just something to create a texture. That's where you can also use your mute, create a different texture. Just to create a different kind of texture. So what do you think? Have you ever struggled knowing what to play and when to play it during a worship section? Let me know in the comment section. I am interested in hearing your stories. And if you have any add-ons that you want to add, you can also add it in the comment section. And if this video helped you in any way, just leave a like, subscribe. I'll catch you in the next video.